Hey, so we all want clean, safe drinking water, right? Of course. But what if I told you that our obsession with pure water might actually be backfiring? What if, in trying to get our water as clean as possible, we're actually stripping out the good stuff our bodies need? Today, we're going to dig into a really surprising idea that the purest water isn't always the healthiest.
So let's just jump right into the big question here. We've all heard of reverse osmosis, or RO, and we think of it as, the ultimate way to purify water. But is it possible it does its job too well? In its quest to get rid of everything, does it also remove the essential minerals your body's looking for? Well, the short answer is, yeah, it absolutely does. And that brings us to something I like to call the purity paradox. It's this weird situation where the biggest strength of reverse osmosis, its incredible ability to make water super, super clean, is also the source of a pretty big and honestly often overlooked problem.
And look, there's no denying it, RO systems have an amazing reputation. And for good reason. They are fantastic at getting rid of genuinely dangerous stuff from our water. That's why they're called the gold standard. But that's really only telling half of the story. Okay, so to really get why this is a paradox, we have to understand how the system actually works. What is going on inside that filter that allows it to achieve this crazy level of purity?
The basic idea is actually pretty simple. Water gets pushed with a lot of pressure through this incredibly fine membrane. And when I say fine, I mean the pores are just 0.0001 microns. That is almost unimaginably small. It's this microscopic gatekeeper that traps all the stuff we don't want. And here it is, the heart of the issue. That tiny membrane, it doesn't know the difference between good and bad. It's not selective at all. So yeah, it's awesome at blocking nasty things like heavy metals and pesticides, but at the same time, it yanks out all the beneficial minerals our bodies crave, things like calcium, magnesium, and potassium. What you're left with is basically demineralized water. Now, you might be thinking, demineralized water, so what? I get minerals from my food. And that's true, but it's not the whole picture. So let's take a closer look at why getting these minerals from our water is actually a pretty big deal for our health. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't some fringe idea. The World Health Organization, the WHO, has actually weighed in on this. They've warned that drinking demineralized water over the long haul could be linked to some serious health problems. And when an organization like the WHO sounds the alarm, you kind of have to listen. To really put a number on it, get this. A study in 2022 found that water filtered through reverse osmosis has less than 10% of the minerals you'd find in regular old tap water. That is a staggering drop. You're basically taking water and stripping it of almost its entire natural nutritional value. Let's just zoom in on one of those minerals for a second, magnesium. This stuff is so important. It helps regulate your heartbeat, it supports your muscles and nerves. I mean, it's absolutely crucial for how your body functions on a cellular level. And yet, standard RO systems pretty much wipe it out completely. It's the perfect example of the trade-off for making for purity. So if stripping our water down to nothing isn't the best way forward, then what is? Well, the good news is there's another way to think about filtration, a smarter way that's much more focused on our overall health. I think this quote from Baruch Zisser, who founded an alternative system called TipaTech, just says it all. The goal shouldn't be to create empty water. It should be intelligent filtration that knows what to take out and what to leave in. So here's how that different approach works. It's still focused on getting rid of the bad stuff, but, and this is the key, it's designed to intentionally keep the beneficial minerals. It also has a way to vent harmful gases that can get trapped in other systems. And you're going to love this, it does it all with zero water waste and without using any electricity. All right, let's really put this to the test. It's time for a direct head-to-head comparison. How do these two completely different filtration philosophies stack up when you put them right next to each other? I mean, the differences here are just stark. When it comes to minerals, one removes some, the other keeps them. Look at waste. A typical RO system can waste up to 5 times the water it produces, while this other approach has zero waste. One needs electricity, the other doesn't. One has a system to vent trapped gases, the other doesn't. It's a completely different game. So this all brings us back to that fundamental question. What should we really be aiming for with our water? Is the goal just to have the purest water possible, no matter the cost, or is there something more to it? And this right here is the big takeaway. The real goal shouldn't just be purity, it should be health.
The best water for our bodies isn't an empty, sterile liquid. It's complete, clean of contaminants, yes, but still full of the life-giving minerals we've evolved to drink. So I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. Now that you know filtration can be smarter, that it can work with your body instead of against it, what should the term clean water really mean? Because maybe it's not just about what we take out, but about what we have the wisdom to leave in. Thanks for tuning in.